Alright, so we're halfway good with the Zero plan. And, what am I at right now with this? Almost where I need to be. So, this should line up pretty well. And if I can't get it right away, it's not the biggest deal. It really just comes in handy for the Sigma stages later on, or the Fortress stages rather, I guess, if you want to say that. So, next we're going into what is arguably the worst level in this game. Outright, like, over Sigma, over anything else.
Would you say Overdrive Ostrich?
I'd be mad at you if that weren't so good.
Oh my god, it's so slow!
It's slow, and it's on rails. So we've gone from Overdrive Ostrich introducing the Ride Chaser and having the only good Ride Chaser level to being just as bad as all those other ones. That part's fine, though. That's not what we're worried about. We're worried about the second time we see the Ride Chaser, which... Just, dread that for me. So those Sandstorm generators, which, there you go, are instant kills, because why wouldn't they be? Everything in this game is more or less just a douchebag.
But they didn't do any damage in the actual...
There was only one of them in the actual one, and it was an environmental thing. In this one, they're just, why not? So you kind of have to be paying attention to when they're going to do things, and, not get ahead of yourself, and, know where to go vertically and stuff like that. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, can I remind everyone that there is eventually an X-boss based after those hogs?
Yes. But spoilers.
Spoilers for the future.
The worst kind of
Future
spoilers.
spoilers.
The most assy of spoilers.
So you can go up there and get, or I think it's this next one coming up, and get a large health. It's not really worth the effort climbing up, on a timer. It won't chase you all the way up, but again, it's just you don't really need to bother.
Just for a large health?
Yeah, it's not a hard tank or anything, it's just here's hidden health. And at this point we've got, the body upgrade, so who cares? So if I do this right, please let me focus for just a moment. Okay. I got this.
Is the Upwards Air Dash more responsive than it was in 3?
Yeah, I said that when I got it. But it is. It really, really is more responsive. Alright, so here's Zero Capsule number 2, which you kind of need to be in the right spot to get it to activate. This is the helmet one, and again, it is pretty much identical. I'm just going to skip through the dialogue. It gives you the head crush. You can break blocks with a headbutt.
Why are all of Zero's things called Crush?
Well, the foot crush is also what it's called for X2. It's just kind of bad naming. So now we've got everything we need out of Zero. He's done for the game. We're good. Sort of, up until we need to...
Does Zero get a new sprite when you have all his armor?
You need to focus more.
You said no.
I said that one too. No, yeah, Zero never actually gets an armor upgrade, which is probably why his start screen doesn't change. Okay. Alright, so more on rails horse shit, except this one you can get crushed up against walls that, God help you if you don't know they're coming. If you don't jump early, those are more or less instant kills. I'm actually doing surprisingly well right now. And up here is another one of those suppress your natural instincts to do anything to get that heart tank, and I almost died there.
Really that small? God.
Oh my god, okay. I've literally never done that in one try before. So yeah, no, if you are even... And I mean literally like a pixel off, any one of those jumps is basically an instant kill against you. I literally was crashing myself against those walls so many times the first time I played this, wondering, what the shit am I doing wrong here? Because you can't jump any higher for certain things. And it really just turns out that you have to jump slightly before you actually get there. So, pro tip, anticipate the jump and memorize things, and maybe you'll get lucky and the game won't kill you over and over and over again. Also, Overdrive Ostrich is weak to Strike Chain? For some reason, I'm assuming because, you're tangling up his legs or something, but, whatever.
Or a bird can't handle being struck by lightning.
It's not lightning, though.
It's the grappling hook.
Yeah, it's the grappling hook.
I know, but it's wire spun, right?
Yeah, but it's not
He's the lightning boss.
No. Volt Catfish is.
Nah.
Yeah.
Well, we're confusing two different games now. Why is he weak to Volt Catfish?
Why would he be weak to Volt Catfish?
Because lightning.
Why would he be weak to lightning?
Because bird type.
It's not Pokemon!
Why isn't this Pokemon?
Okay, so he's much faster in this one, though. You really just kind of need to understand that you're going to get hit a little bit by, him and falling stuff, and just hope that you got enough health. His weapon is slightly more useful in this one. A couple things are weak to it. It's still hellaciously slow, but it doesn't last as long. And the charge shot is somehow worse.
Delicious.
And your delicious, like, fruit flavor excellent.
Yay. You have, like, nothing in your sub-tanks.
Yeah, that'll happen. Alright, so now we're ready to go back here. So, impromptu collection episode, I guess. There's not really going to be any other collecting. And this is mostly just to finish off that super secret strategy that I was telling you about. And honestly, for the sake of speed, in the next section coming up, I'm probably just going to run through the lava, because you are genuinely at less risk doing that than going the high route, which probably isn't a sign of good level design. Oh, actually, I won't even need to, because it's right here. So unless something goes wrong, which very well could, it is 0 we're talking about. Okay. Alright, so this is an X caps. They just always balance swap. That's just how they work.
I was going to ask if there was any way to tell.
And now you can stand inside it before it goes off because of silly hit detection. So this is the Charged Buster. And it's going to try to emulate what the Charge Buster, or the Charge Shot superpower in X3 does, with that, like, colossal energy cross-shot wave thing, if you remember that. That one's actually good. This one is more or less the opposite of that.
And you want it for your
I want it because I think it's required, like, to unlock this. I don't know if they made it sound like it in my research. For all I know, I could do this without it. But they made it sound like a pretty important component, so I'm just going to go ahead and assume I need it. There's no reason to try to do it without it. It won't even be a factor once I actually do my strategy. Alright, so now we're Hatless X. We're more or less at 100% for this run for X, not counting heart tanks and stuff. So, if you fire slow, you get one charge shot, you get another charge shot. And if you fire fast, you get that.
Okay.
Great.
But not the charge shot.
Nope, it's not. I don't know how damaging it is. It could be good. It could not. Who knows?
It looks like shit. Why does it look like shit?
It looks like a lot of shit. You're right, Myth. So,
In what color?
if I've got enough, I do. We're done. So what I'm going to do here is buy Buster Plus, which powers up your shot. Buster Plus 2, which also does that, but slightly more. Speed Shot, which makes your shots go faster. And Ultimate Buster, which on its own is pretty fantastic for regular stuff. What Ultimate Buster does is every shot is a regular charge shot. All of those stack.
Oh. Okay.
So
what does a charge shot do now?
you can't charge. It's just how Ultimate Buster works. Like, it takes priority over it and you don't need to anymore. So, normally, this is the explanation for what I just had to run through. Normally, for whatever reason, when you have the helmet, you can only equip 2 powers at a time. Because of, maybe by design, you can equip 4. So now, as opposed to my regular lemons, what the rest of the game is going to look like is this. And each one of those shots is going to do about 5 bricks of damage to bosses.
Damn.
So, weakness weapons are no longer necessary. Because that does more damage on average than weakness weapons do.
Spycopters, what?
Don't worry about it.
But
Don't worry about it.
where are your propellers? Why are you just
Stagnant in the air.
Why ladders? Why so small? Why so... Ah!
There's Spycopter.
What I like about this is, apparently they're invading the stage, because that says Spycopter warning, and I don't know why Blast Hornet would need to be warned about his own dudes, so...
Hornets and spiders don't get along, even though spiders...
Okay, so don't panic here. Heart tank.
Okay.
Yes,
It's just a slightly, maybe, kind of quicker way to do
I
it.
have so many questions.
It's a very bizarre stage.
It's so weird when you hit that, like, one part of the stage that is correctly colored. Like, it completely throws me off. I'm like, oh, hey, that construction with the yellow and black striping actually looks great. and then the rest of it I'm like, oh, here we go.
So,
Two-tone color palettes.
if I do this right, I'm bypassing a lot of jumping, which I just did correctly. So cool.
Ooh.
This part coming up is pretty great too. And I'll show you where to go for super secrets. It's another Zero capsule, which again we won't be getting. We can't get it at this point actually because we don't have the correct weapon as either character. So there's an enemy there, and then there's two enemies here, right? Keep walking. There's this wall. You need to hit it with Drill Crush, which again everything Zero has as Crush, whatever. That's Tunnel Rhino's weapon for Zero. It's like a downward stab. It breaks those blocks for some reason, and then his capsule's behind there. I'm going to do this in a specific order to show off how goofy this can be. It's a secret, because when you kill that, that goes away, and you can't go this way anymore.
Oh,
So,
gross.
yeah. And now the rest of the stage. Alright, this mini-boss is normally a huge pain in the ass without the true ultimate buster, is what I'm doing. That's what that's impromptu called. These things go off at intervals, and you kind of have to like hold your charge and hit them at the right time. Also, it gives you a power-up sometimes. There it is. And kind of get lucky because they randomize. With this strategy, it's really effortless. And you can actually cling to the opposite wall and shoot it across, and even though it's not on screen, you'll still be able to damage it. So, that's a nice thing. Alright, so here for direct comparison, I will hit him once with his weakness weapon, just to kind of damage test what I'm doing right now. And the Ultimate Buster thing only affects your normal shots. It doesn't automatically charge special weapons or anything like that. It doesn't modify their damage at all, to the best of my knowledge. So Blast Hornet is weak to Sonic Slicer in this one. Which, there you go. You know, 4 bricks of damage, it's not bad for a weakness. But you have to wait a long time to hit him with it. Or you can just do this, and more or less erase him from existence.
Why must you always hate the bees?
It's not just the B, it's just the level order. But that's the true Ultimate Buster. The game is done. Like, nothing else at this point is going to be even remotely challenging. The level design kind of can be, just by virtue of it being clunky in Game Boy, but other than that, we're through with the worst of it.
I like this weapon get screen, and I love that little Hornet. It's so grumpy.
I love Bombi. It's probably my favorite weapon in this game.
God,